Hello all. So in unit 5 we have started unsupervised machine learning algorithms. We have seen different theoretical concepts of what is unsupervised machine learning, and then we have seen two different types of unsupervised machine learning, that is clustering and association. We have seen different clustering algorithms like k-means clustering, Gaussian mixture model, DB scan, etc. We have also seen dimensionality reduction techniques, and we have particularly focused on principal component analysis. So today in the session I would like to concentrate on one lab experiment, which is how do we implement k-means clustering for a given data set. Okay, so we have to implement k-means clustering on a given data set. So when I talk about k-means clustering, we have seen that it is an unsupervised machine learning algorithm which is actually used for partitioning the data set into some n fixed number of clusters. Okay, so we have to decide what is k, and depending upon that we will decide on how do we proceed with the experiment. Okay, so here are the steps that we have actually studied theoretically on how do we implement k-means clustering. First of all we have to initialize the value of k, that is how many clusters you have to group the data into, and then assign each data point to the nearest cluster, and recalculate the cluster centroids as the mean of all the data points assigned to the cluster, and repeat the same process second and third step again and again until and unless you finish the number of iterations. Okay, now let's perform k-means clustering on the data set using the features age, years of experience, and monthly salary. So these are the three input attributes that I am taking. Okay, so first of all we have to load the data into the data frame, apply standardization on the data such that all the features will have importance for all the values will have equal importance on all the features, and then we'll determine the number of optimal clusters that you want to do. We are choosing elbow method here, and then we'll apply k-means clustering and visualize the clusters. Okay, so this is the data set that I want to work on. I want to give the performance rating of an employee based on the years of experience, age, and monthly salary. Okay, so how many years of experience they have depending on their age and monthly salary, I want to give the performance rating of the customer, and I want to divide this into clusters. Okay, clusters on performance 7, 8, 9 and 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how many employees comes under each cluster is what I want to decide. Okay, now import necessary libraries. So the first step is importing the necessary libraries. So we are using pandas, numpy, matplotlib for plotting, and then I am importing my k-means algorithm from sklearn.cluster, and standard scalar, as we have already seen, we are importing that from sklearn.preprocessing. Okay, so I want to create a dictionary with key value pairs. Okay, the key would be the feature name and the values would be the instances, that the row values that I am taking. Okay, so I am taking a variable called data in which I am putting employee ID with all these 10 instances, age with all the 10 instances, year of experience, and then monthly salary, and I want to create a data frame out of it. So I create a data frame into the variable df with pd pandas.data frame. Of this data I create a data frame. Okay, once I am done with loading the data frame, I'll select the features for clustering. So what are the features that I want to take into consideration for clustering? So I want age, years of experience, and monthly salary. So age, years of experience, monthly salary, that is the three features I want to group into the clusters, and majorly I want to focus on this. Okay, and on this I perform my feature scaling. Okay, so the scaling would be done on these features which I have selected such that all the features will have equal importance. Okay, now once I am done with that, this is the major step where I'll determine the optimal number of clusters that I want using elbow method. Okay, how many clusters we want? So here we will apply k-means with 3 clusters. Okay, so for doing this we'll determine the optimal number of clusters using elbow method. So we choose elbow method where we use this function called as k-means. Okay, so within this k-means we will have to declare the number of clusters that I want to take. Okay, so I want to take the cluster range from 1 to 11 because I have 10 instances. Okay, so for clay in this cluster range I want to import my k-means algorithm. I want to instantiate the k-means algorithm by putting that clusters is equal to k, that is I want to put 3 clusters, and random state is equal to 42. Okay, I want to fit k-means algorithm with this scaled features, and then using this inertia method, initially I'll take an empty list. Once I start optimizing, I'll append this particular inertia with the k-means inertia. Okay, so this is how we actually determine the optimal number of clusters using the elbow method. Okay, so once I'm done with this, let's plot the elbow curve. So the name elbow is given because you have this peak, depending upon the number of clusters, you have this transition. Okay, so I'm taking a figure. You can also give figure size 8 by 6. Okay, I want to plot number of clusters versus inertia. Okay, so on the x-axis I'll put number of clusters, on y-axis I'll put inertia, and apply elbow method for the optimal number of clusters. So I'm just putting the grid. Okay, when you see grid, you can have these lines, boxes appearing inside the graph. Okay, now once we are done with the deciding optimal number of clusters, we will apply k-means clustering. Now here you have to give how many number of clusters you want to take. So I want to take 3 clusters. So we are just instantiating it here. Before I am just putting n clusters is equal to k, but here in this step, when I am applying k-means clustering, I will give how many number of clusters I want to group into. Okay, so as you can see, I have 0, 1, 2 groups. So depending upon the patterns in the data, based on age, years of experience and monthly salary, the data would be segregated into 3 clusters, that is 0 cluster, 1 cluster, 2 clusters. I did not give which particular row belongs to which cluster, but based on the features, based on the age, based on years of experience, based on monthly salary, my cluster data set is appearing in this way. Okay, so if you want to visualize the clusters, you can just give the figure size. For cluster in range 3, I have 3 clusters, so I want for every cluster I want individual plotting. Okay, so this is how your data looks like. Okay, so blue is one cluster, green is one cluster, red is other cluster. So all the data points that were available. Okay, so on x-axis I've taken age and y-axis I've taken monthly salary out of 3 values that we have. So based on this, I have 3 clusters which are divided. Okay, so this is how we visualize the clusters. For every point in each range of the cluster, I want to determine. Okay, so this is how we actually implement k-means clustering algorithm. Let me repeat the step. First, import the necessary libraries, create the data frame, and then select the features for clustering, and after you select the features, you perform feature scaling, determine the optimal number of clusters using the elbow method, and after that you just visualize. If you want, you can just skip this step. After you determine the optimal number of points, we will apply k-means clustering, and then we will visualize the clusters. Okay, so this is all about how do we implement k-means clustering on a given data set. Thank you.